Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this Wishing You the Very Best card using the Sale-a-bration free with $120 purchase stamp set and designer series paper. So in Canada, if you spend $120, you can get this set for free. In the States, I believe it's $100. So this is the stamp set. It's a two-step stamp. So you would stamp the outline and then fill it in, and you've got like blueberries and leaves and some raspberries and some stems and that. So, and the greetings are wishing you the very best, bountiful blessings, and you always have a way of making my day. And the paper that goes with it is the Berry Delightful Designer Series paper. I have already chopped mine up and stored it. Isn't that just gorgeous, gorgeous paper? So I'm using this designer series paper today, as well as the Berry Blessings set, to make this card. So if you would like to purchase anything, I will put the links for the Sale-a-bration item below, and you can click on that, and at any time you can go to my website with Stampin' Up, and the link is there as well. So what I've done today is I have used my designer series paper, and as I've shown in previous videos, I cut it to 4 by 5 1/4, and when I cut the 5 1/4, I get 2 out and I get a piece that is 4 by 1.5 inches left over. And in this case, I have used it to create an area of interest on the card, and I'm using Pacific Point cardstock and ink, as well as Night of Navy ink and the Garden Green ink as well for this card. So we'll get started with putting it together. For the piece in the front, I've used a piece of white cardstock and one of the stitched So Sweetly dies to cut out the greeting. So let's go ahead and get started. This piece is for the inside, so we'll just leave that off to the side for now. I am going to use my Stamp and Seal and just attach this to the front. And then we will get stamping, and we'll use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss to cut out the stitched So Sweetly die. And that didn't go down very straight, so I'm just going to peel it off because I haven't actually pushed it down yet. So I'm just going to line that up again and pop it down. There we go. Sometimes it just doesn't go straight the first time. And then I want this to be this way up, kind of like this pattern always makes me think of the picnic basket blanket. So we will attach that, and it's kind of 1/3 of the way up. And of course, because it's been cut the 4 inches well, it fits over the mat perfectly. So I'm just going to put that off to the side for a minute, and we are going to work on stamping the piece on the front. So, as I said, it's two-step stamping, but we are going to start with the greeting, wishing you the very best. And these are photopolymer stamps, so you can see through them. You can see where you're inking and everything else. I'm going to ink this in the Pacific Point. So I'm going to ink that up really well. I can see through the stamp, through the acrylic block, that it's inked up. So I am going to start towards the bottom of this because I want room for the berries. So I'm just going to put that down, and it has inked really well there. So I'll just put that one off to the side. And I need to stamp the leaves first. And I'm going to do this with a full value for the outline and a second value for the fill. So I am going to just ink up my stamp. I'm just going to move that one out of the way so I don't put my hand in it. And I'm just going to pop that down like that. So I've got the outline, and then I'm going to ink up my stamp again. And I'm going to stamp it away. so that I actually end up with second value. So it's the same color, it's just a little bit lighter. Press that down, and there we go. Oh, and I didn't press quite hard enough. The nice thing with the photopolymer is you can go right back over it and fix up any misses you've got. You can line things up really, really well. So what I need to do now, I am finished with the garden green that I was using. So I am going to stamp the berries. And I'm stamping the kind of body of the berries, or the fill-in of the berries, in the Pacific point. And I'm just going to line that up. Stamp it down, lift it up. Okay, and the outline of the berries I'm actually doing in Night of Navy because I liked the full strength color of the Pacific Point and didn't want to kind of lighten it up. So I am just going to ink that up in Night of Navy and then just put it down right over top of the Pacific Point. And there you go. There are your berries. So now all we need to do is do the inside of the card, and I don't need the Night of Navy anymore. I am going to use the garden green again, and I'm just going to move these out of the way, and I'm just going to do the inside. I'm not going to outline the greenery, and I'm just going to pop it on towards the bottom like that. And then I am going to stamp the berries on it. So we'll pull the berries back in with the Pacific Point and just line that up and pop it down and lift it up. So that's just a little bit of decoration for the inside of the card. And the Pacific Point is quite dark, so I put the piece of white on the inside just to give you somewhere to write so it can be read. And so I've managed to get ink on my fingers, so I'll wipe that off before I start building the card so I don't end up with ink everywhere I don't want it. So we are going to cut out the greeting at the front, so I'm just going to load up my die here on an angle, just centered as best as possible. And as I said, it's one of the scallop dies from the Stitched So Sweetly die set. Just going to pop that down, make sure everything's still straight, and then run it through the machine. And then we can dimensionalize it and stick it to the front, and that's pretty much the card all completed. So that is it run through the machine. So I'm just going to pull my working piece back in. I'm going to pull in my dimensionals. I'm going to put one in each corner and then one in the middle as well. Just like that. I'm just going to squish these so that they pop off really easy. There we go. And then I'm just going to center this really in the middle of the card and just drop it down like that. And then I just need to use my Stampin' Seal on the inside and just center that up, drop it down. So there you have Wishing You the Very Best, made with the Sale-a-bration set that is free with a $120 purchase in Canada until the end of February. So as I said earlier, if there is anything you would like to purchase, I will have the links below. Please subscribe and hit your notifications so you know when my next video is up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.